We're like friends. I mean, we're sisters.
Sisters by blood, friends by choice.
Incredibly smart, intelligent, and funny.
Oh,
Correct.
Stories for days.
Mom, you're crashing out. I feel like, should we?
Do we want to talk about it right now?
We can talk about
Let's
it.
just let it flow.
Let it go. What the fuck? Good jeans.
Yeah.
Messy jeans.
Hi, welcome back to the Messy Jeans podcast. I'm Cindy.
Hello, Cindy. How are you? I'm Carly. I guess I should say my name. I'm Carly. I know exactly what I'm doing. We know what we're doing.
We both do for sure.
Yeah.
Should we just get right into it?
I think so.
What has been cunty for you this week?
What has been cunty for me this week? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I can go first.
Yeah, you
want.
should go first.
Okay. So, in true me fashion, yesterday I, per my therapist's advice, wrote a letter to my inner critic.
Oh.
And then I posted it on Substack because I love attention.
Yeah.
So, basically in this letter, I told my inner critic to basically fuck off.
Yeah,
And
as you should.
and she told me to give my inner critic 30 days to either change her ways and transform into something that's actually going to benefit me, or she needs to get out.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. She said, you need to evict your inner critic
Literally.
if they don't change.
Yeah.
So I wrote the letter finally, and it was very therapeutic and it was very powerful and it was so great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just completely had a mental breakdown after I posted it and wrote all these really powerful things.
Yeah.
And I just started spiraling, and I'm like, nobody cares about, nobody wants me here. Nobody cares.
Your inner critic.
Literally so fucking loud. That's so me. It's very cunty and in a bad way and in a kind of a good way, just because that's just so who I am.
Yeah.
Is to have this breakthrough and then be like, why am I even here? What am I even doing here? I'm going to deactivate all of my social medias.
Yeah. No. So that's...
You don't know what it's like to have a brain like this.
No, I mean, I have felt a little bit of that here and there. I get it, but and I know that I don't. So yeah.
Classic me. Classic me.
I'm so sorry. That's kind of funny how you were like, here's your eviction notice, inner critic, and then your inner critic was like, bitch, I don't think so.
I'm not going anywhere.
I run the show. You do not.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
It just sucks. And because I have multiple personalities, I have multiple inner critics.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of people that I'm telling to shut the fuck up or just,
bitch.
Yeah, they're bitches. So that was my cuntiness for this week.
What is my cuntiness? What is cunty for me this week? I feel like men, fugly men, are pretty cunty, and not in a good way. They've made a lot of I've made some content about it this week. Yeah. And people are living for it. I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, just cunty ass little bitches. In my comment section, I made a video.
Yeah.
Where I said, hot girls hate Trump. Just a reminder, hot girls hate Trump. And I had on TikTok especially.
Oh, yeah.
I privated it because I was so sick of the notifications. And I was like, when you have something go viral, right? And then you're like, that's all the notifications that you get. And you're like, I'm over it.
Oh, can't imagine.
But all of them were like, you think you're hot? You're literally so ugly. You look like a dude. You must be trans. I mean, they're anything and everything. Good thing you're not hot. And I'm like, what?
As they're balancing their can of beer on their belly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And itching their crotch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And snot is dripping out of in their mother's basement.
Actually.
Bulging.
Actually. Yes. 100%. But it was so funny. I had a few comments say that I look like Sid the Sloth.
From Ice Age?
Yes. Because I have wide set eyes. Right? As do all of us.
Yeah, but you have really big eyes. No, oh my God, not me like agreeing. I'm not agreeing with them at all.
Yeah, you do actually look like a sloth.
But like, that sloth is fucking cute.
I'm
So cute.
Wasn't he like cool as he fuck?
Literally the icon of that movie.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sue me. I am Sid the Sloth.
Yeah.
He's fucking dope.
Own it.
And so I was like, you know what?
So funny.
Wide set eyes are known as like youthful.
It's a sign of beauty.
I know, as our dad would always say.
Yes.
So go ahead and tell me I have wide set eyes and I look like a sloth because you know what? I'll kick your ass. Slowly. But I will kick your ass. Slowly, like a sloth.
Oh, like a...
You know, because sloths are slow.
There it is.
Remember when we saw so many fucking sloths in
Costa Rica?
What
a fever dream that trip was.
That was a fever dream. That was insane.
Insane, yeah. They're so cute. Sloths are so cute. They're like one of the most loved animals, I feel like.
They are, and we saw so many. We can...
By the end of the trip, we were like, yeah,
what is
we don't give a fuck.
Like, fuck about sloths.
We've seen enough of them.
I have seen enough.
We've been introduced
to last a lifetime. Maybe another time we can talk about that fever dream of a trip to Costa Rica with our sisters and our mom.
Yeah.
That we will probably never do again.
I was so bloated that trip.
Yeah, that was wild.
Bloated. Speaking of little tangent, but it is a recent thing that I learned this week. So I was experiencing just astronomical bloating recently.
Love it.
And then I was like, so I drink about 6 liquid IVs a day.
That's too many. You don't, girl.
So I go to the chat and I'm like, you told me, can if you drink too many liquid IVs, can it make you bloated? And they're like, yes.
Yeah. Do you know what has in it?
Yeah, salt. It's salt. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Girl.
I got there eventually. I was like, yeah. Okay, maybe it's the liquid IVs. Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, this can't be good for me because it's literally a stick of sugar. It's so much sugar, but I have such a hard time.
Good to drink when you drink alcohol.
Yes.
Not just on a normal everyday.
But I was drinking them at the rate of like a high performance athlete, like an Olympic athlete. Like I am sitting at a desk, like sedentary job. And I am just like shook. Like I cannot get that liquid IV down fast enough.
Downing the liquid IV. I'm glad you're like, I really need to make sure that I am hydrated for the desk job.
I'm like, this is so great for me.
This is so good.
Unlimited supply of liquid IV. It tastes amazing.
Too many. One a day, tops.
And then also the Just Lime packets, okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I'm a little bit of a freak, right? So there was a couple times that I just like ripped those open and just in my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, what about the Just Lime packets? And she's like, yep, those too. Made by the same company, by the way.
It's a conspiracy. I know. It's big lime, big liquid IV. Want you to be bloated.
Yeah, so I'm drinking plain water again. It's stupid.
I know what I'm like paranoid about is having vocal frying.
Yeah.
You know, and so I have to like speak in a register where I'm not going too low, and then you have that vocal fry, and then people make fun of it because people hate female voices.
Period.
Just period.
Just period. So if it doesn't sound perfect.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be perfecto.
I feel like we should play a round of who's most likely to.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
I have a bunch of questions. All right. Ready?
Ready.
Who is most likely to fake their own death and actually get away with it? Carly. 100%. She is so good at avoiding, and I wish I am
so much better. So good at avoiding.
Like, you don't need anybody. You could just be like,
well, like, actually,
I'm kind of done.
You guys, I'm actually kind of dead. I died.
Spoiler alert.
I'm dead, guys. And it would just be like,
you wouldn't even need to say it, though.
I would just stop posting. I would just get the fuck out of town, and I'd be like, I'm dead, and never return.
Out of Dodge. Yeah. Okay, who is most likely to become a true crime documentary subject instead of a viewer? Me.
You. Cindy.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I'd be the one murdered.
Yeah, I'd be murdered. Yeah, you would be murdered. I don't know how.
Yeah, I would get in like some dicey situation.
Yeah.
Because I had a blonde day and Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Just made some impulsive decision.
It would be like you were driving on the side of the, and you saw like someone who needed help, and like you just felt for them, and then you got out, and then they were like a serial killer.
Because I'm a good Samaritan.
Yeah, you are, but you're not a smart good Samaritan, and you're not. You need to be more like think about self-preservation first and foremost.
For sure, for sure. Who's most likely to run off with the circus because real life is just too much?
You, Cindy.
Yeah, because I can do some freaky things for the circus.
You could.
Very double jointed, lots of different voices.
So like you're very like emotive and very hype. You're just very excited.
Can you imagine me?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the
ringmaster.
Yes, the ringmaster.
You could be the ringmaster.
Yes.
100%. And elephants?
I could also like wrestle, you know?
You would really, you could.
It could be like a girl on girl like circus act, you know?
Oh,
I don't know.
Are we talking about a porno now?
I just made it there.
Girl on girl circus ringmaster. Don't Google that. That's probably a porno.
Probably. Circus porn. Oh my God.
There's porn for everything.
There really is. Who's most likely to have an existential crisis during a kid's birthday party? Me.
Cindy.
Yeah. I'd be at the birthday party and I'd be like, we're dying every day. The older that we get, we're just dying.
Second we're dying. Yes. You would just have a breakdown right there. You would start crying.
Absolutely. Who's most likely to fake an orgasm just to get it over with and then ask for an Uber home? Both of us.
Yeah, us.
I feel like both of us would do that.
100%.
I can probably count on two hands how many times I've done that.
Yeah, be like, okay, I'm good. Thank you. Also, no thank you. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's most likely to key an ex's car and then post a meme about karma? Me, probably.
You, yeah.
But like I could also see you do.
I feel like I was gonna say like I could maybe do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would key the car.
I would
definitely share the meme. Like I would definitely share the meme about it. I might be your accomplice.
Maybe you'd repost it.
Yeah, I'd repost it. You would key the car and I would be your accomplice. And then you'd make a meme and then I'd repost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're in it together.
Yeah.
Who's most likely to swipe right on their ex's sibling just to make a point? Both of us. Yeah.
Both of us.
I would absolutely do that. One, because I don't give a fuck about dating apps anymore, but...
Yeah. That's another
absolute
episode. We'd have to talk about that.
Definitely.
Yeah, both of us.
Who is most likely to ruin a marriage and sleep just fine at night? Both of us. I feel like you'd be sleeping better, though.
When we talk about ruining marriages, do we mean we're a homewrecker, like we were a mistress, or our own marriages?
I don't know. I guess
maybe either or.
I feel like it's talking about someone else's marriage. I don't think that I would ruin someone else's marriage, but I definitely ruined mine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we both ruined ours.
Yeah.
And I sleep okay.
Who is most likely to tell a child Santa isn't real because they were tired of hearing about it?
Oh, me.
Harley.
Me. 1,000.
You're just like, no.
Girl, he's not real.
He's not.
So can you stop fucking asking me?
Leave me alone.
Like,
I'm trying to go
fuck alone.
Like,
no
way.
Dead ass. I mean, that reminds me that my second oldest daughter, Maya, she like had a binky until she was 3, and one day I was so fucking tired of those goddamn binkies, and I had a migraine, and I remember she kept asking me for it, asking me for this binky, and I took it, and I just took scissors and I just chopped them up. And I was like, your binkies are done. This is the worst. I was such a bitch.
I remember that.
Fucking bitch. I'm so glad we're talking about motherhood today.
We are. We're going to get all up in there. That's hilarious. Who's most likely to block a friend because they didn't like their Instagram post?
Me.
For sure. I'm so sensitive. Who's most likely to blackmail someone and call it setting boundaries? You.
Me.
Carly.
Me.
Carly, for sure.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah.
You're like, this is just the facts.
Bro, this is literally what you did, and I have evidence.
Yeah.
That's just my boundary.
That is my boundary.
Okay?
I'm speaking my truth.
If you don't follow this boundary, I'm going to fucking send this to every contact in your goddamn Facebook list, okay?
Oh, yeah. You'd be so good at it.
I would be so good.
I'd be your accomplice with that for sure.
I would need your help.
Who's most likely to accidentally sleep with two best friends and not feel guilty about it?
Me. Or both of us.
I actually have done that.
You have done that. I have not done that.
I slept with, not at the same time, but roommates.
And they were roommates.
Yeah, they were roommates. Slept with, one of them was smelly and the other couldn't get it out.
Oh.
So it wasn't like a great experience, but that was like in the beginning of my hoe days.
That's okay.
Who's most likely to hook up with their therapist after one too many breakthroughs? Carly?
Me? Shit. One too many you know what?
Because I feel like you wouldn't care. You're just like, this is what I want.
This is what I want. And you know what? And like, if I want it, then I know he wants it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe it's a woman.
And for me, I'd be really thinking about it too much.
You would be overthinking. I'd be like, no, we have a connection. Obvi.
Yeah.
Obvi, duh.
They get me and they listen to me.
Yeah. So it's like, no, yeah, we're going to fuck and you're going to love it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Who's most likely to hook up with an ex just for closure and then do it again the next weekend?
You. Yes.
Definitely. Okay, let's do like one more and then let's get into the topic.
Okay.
Who's most likely to post a thirst trap after a funeral? Carler. But I'm like pretty sure I did that, which is hilarious. Like after Dad's funeral, I like did a whole photo shoot.
Did you?
Like the next day.
You know what? It's grief.
Yeah.
Grief.
Any way that you grieve is so valid.
Manifests in every way.
But like an actual thirst trap where you're like showing your ass and stuff, like
I mean that
you would die.
I would. I might have posted a thirst trap at a baptism one time. No, I'm serious. No, it wasn't like a thirst. It was like I would look cute in the dress and I took a picture in the church bathroom.
Nice.
But
nice.
You know what? Life is short.
Life is so short.
Post the thirst trap after the funeral, like nobody cares.
Yeah.
I mean, people will care, but also
people will judge you no matter
what you do.
Present yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Today we're going to talk about motherhood.
Oh, yeah.
The messiness of motherhood.
I love it.
Messy mothers. Just mother.
Mother may I.
Obviously, both of our perspectives on motherhood were greatly affected by being raised in the Mormon religion.
Yep.
So I'm just going to throw out a quote and then let's just like talk about why it's stupid.
Yeah.
So from a church leader, so in the Mormon church, you know, you've got a prophet and apostles, basically like the head people in charge. And then...
Yeah, for those who don't know, the Mormon church is basically like an MLM. It's a pyramid, right?
Yeah.
So you've got the three dudes, and they're all dudes, the 3 dudes at the top. Then you've got the 12, and then you got the 70. It's literally a triangle.
Oh my.
Yeah, cool. It's literally a triangle. That's like, you know, Jim Halpert, and he goes up and he like draws the triangle. Michael Durick, he's like, it's a pyramid scheme. He's like, no, it's not. No, it literally is.
It is.
And so just to like kind of give you an idea, and that's...
Yeah, so these people that I'm going to be quoting from are leaders in the church. Some of them are women, some of them are men, but they are the higher ups. Like they speak at the general conference, which is basically like Coachella for Mormons.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Where, yeah, extremely boring. Holy shit.
Oh, boring. Less drugs.
Mm-hmm. Lots of prescriptions, though, I'm sure.
Russell M. Nelson in 2018 said, "Every woman is a mother by virtue of her eternal divine destiny."
What the fuck does that mean?
Eternal divine?
This is what I cannot... This is going to be a side tangent, I'm sorry, but this is what I cannot stand about Mormonism in general. It is so vague. The way that they describe things, the way that they explain things, and this is on purpose, that right there, like, you say that to any normal person off the street, they'd be like, what in the fuck does that mean? They'd be like, I literally don't know what that means. Say it again. Repeat it.
Every woman is a mother by virtue of her eternal divine destiny.
By virtue of her eternal divine destiny. Bro, what does that mean? No, I'm serious. Like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. Remember how Dad said they're like used car salesmen?
Yes. Because they know, they will say the thing to get the sale. Right? But they don't really know what they're saying.
Yep.
They might know what to say about the car, but do they really know how the car works and how it functions?
Yeah.
No.
But eternal, divine, destiny.
What?
It's your destiny. So it's your destiny to be a mother. It's our destiny to be a mother.
And every woman is because you know what that means? So in essence, essentially what he's saying, right? So this is where I loved, like when I debate Mormons, when I talk to Mormons, I always make them define things and be specific about what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because they really love to dance around what they actually mean, because the core of it is like so crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they love to be vague. It's just, it just removes like the accountability from like the craziness of the doctrine.
Absolutely.
Anyway, what he's essentially saying is that mothers, all women, are going to be birthing babies eternally. They will be eternal wombs spiritually, because men get to go have their planets and they get to build and be creative. Women just get to have spirit babies forever.
Actually, my personal hell.
Yeah, no, seriously. And that is the doctrine. And a lot of people will be like, no, it's not. I'll be like, oh, bitch. Yeah,
somebody's got to live on those planets.
Yeah, it is. Who do you think who do you think is going to populate these planets? Women. They don't get to own them or create them or run them, right?
Yeah.
They don't get to have dominion over them. They will be shackled, locked away in some closet, just like Heavenly Mother, birthing babies. Oh my God. Anyway, so that's what he means.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is fucking stupid.
So gross. Okay, M. Russell Ballard in 2008 said, there is no role in life more essential and more eternal than that of motherhood. No role in life. No press.
That's this.
No press.
She's basically saying the same thing. Like, girl, sorry, you can't escape it. You are going to be birthing babies forever. And that's important because we need babies. We need spirits to populate these worlds. Okay? Because without you, we can't do it, honey.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it a little bit today when I was kind of going over the quotes and stuff. Like, I feel like subconsciously they do that. They put all this pressure on the mothers so that they can later blame the woman.
Oh, absolutely. No, that is what they do.
She raised them.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like society at large, like also does that to women. Puts a lot of pressure, doesn't give them equal power and status, but puts a bunch of pressure, like pedestalizing them, making sure that like they know their place, so that they know their place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, this is your role. You are so powerful. You are in charge of nurturing and raising these incredible spirits. And so that when they fuck up, it's your fucking problem and it's your fault.
Exactly. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Jeffrey R. Holland in 2015 said, it's basically the same thing, but taking a step further, no love in mortality comes closer to approximating the pure love of Jesus Christ than the selfless love of a devoted mother has for her child. So now we're Jesus.
Yeah.
So now we're supposed to be a savior in a fallen world.
Yes. Yes. So that when people fuck up, it's your problem because you didn't live up to your savior status.
Yeah, and I didn't put it here, but there was another quote that was like, when good women, you know, when women stop being good or something, like society falls.
Yes.
It's like,
yes. I'm sorry. Can we catch a fucking break?
And who set that system up?
And exactly. This is what I can't stand. And I just will go off on anybody and everybody. And I have many times. And like, I've done this to so many people lately in my life where I'm just like, can we stop saying that women are perfect and saying that they're the best and they're the like when you pedestalize a group of women, right? A group of anybody, right? And you're saying they're also amazing, they're great, they're wonderful, they're perfect. Oh my God, you're the best, right? And then they make one tiny little mistake, and it's like, ooh, and that's why it's like so frustrating because for men, we are constantly saying like, men, they're just men, boys will be boys, right?
Sure.
So that when they do make a mistake, it's like, well, duh. Men are just dumb. They're stupid. Like, they make mistakes. That's what they do. I mean, look at our fucking president, bro.
Yeah.
Enough said. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Yep. He is a baby. Just a big baby.
Mm-hmm.
Julie B. Beck.
Oh, God.
2024. So it was only last year.
Wow.
Okay. She's speaking about her own mother in this quote.
Oh, great.
She took longer than most women to find her husband.
Oh, dear God.
Starting after. But during her single years, she had devoted her life to progress. Though it was uncommon at the time, she was university educated and advancing in a career. Following her marriage, children arrived in quick succession.
Oh,
how'd that happen? And in a short span of years, she was the mother of a large family. All the knowledge she had acquired, all her natural abilities and gifts, all her skills were channeled into an organization that had no earthly bounds.
Yeah.
As a covenant-keeping daughter of God, she had prepared all her life for motherhood. So it's like,
God.
you need to be smart. Go get that education. But then, like, you need to use it for this one purpose.
Yeah, only one purpose.
Put it all into being a mother.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't, like, then it's all for what? It's all for naught.
That quote is wild to me.
And that was last year.
Though she took longer to get married.
God, Julie.
How old was she? 22?
Get a grip, Julie. That same woman who said if you drink coffee, like, you're not going to the celestial kingdom. You know, that one that, like, made the rounds, right?
Yeah.
That one cup of coffee. Yeah.
Cost her eternal glory and divine divinity.
Julie.
So, like, just reading that from the perspective now, it's
what
like,
an ick.
Oh my God. And okay, we obviously grew up in a really Mormon household and in a family of 11 kids. So let's touch a little bit on what our perspective of motherhood was as a child of such a huge family, since Julie brought it up, a giant family.
Yeah, she brought it up.
Okay. And kind of how that compares to now.
I want to be, like, so careful because I don't know if Mom is going to listen to this, right? And, like, if she does, great. Like, she wants to support us, awesome. And, like, I love my mom. My mom is crazy smart. Our mom, crazy smart. Really well-read, just really, she's smart, funny, just a great human, right? And she raised incredible kids. My perception of having a big family, I think at the time when I was younger, I was like, this is great, because I didn't know any better. I didn't know, like, what to compare it to. So I was like, yeah, I got a lot of siblings, and it's a hassle, like, getting in and out the door, or to go anywhere, or to travel anywhere. Our parents are busy, always busy, not enough time or, like, attention to go around for everybody. That's really hard, even if you have 2-3 kids. It's impossible when you have 11. And it's not to say that they didn't try, especially our mom. She really did her best. And but it's a lot, just very chaotic. Very chaotic. And for different reasons for different siblings, right? Because I was one of the older ones, you were one of the younger ones.
Yeah.
So I think we definitely have, we talk about all the time, and, like, we had, like, especially, like, the younger siblings had different parents than the older siblings. They were more, like, relaxed in a sense.
Yeah.
Less attentive. Then when I was younger, they were more strict. And so, yeah, it's just interesting. What's your perspective?
Well, looking at the facts of our mom's situation, she was either pregnant, breastfeeding, or either
pregnant, breastfeeding, pregnant, back
just
to back
around the clock. Yeah,
no, literally.
For how many years?
20,
like 20
years.
Yeah, for 20 years. So yeah, just always really chaotic, and understandably so. She just seemed so tired, like, just so tired, and just feeling like she didn't have enough to give sometimes. And don't blame her at all. Not even a little bit. Our dad was a workaholic.
Yeah.
He worked constantly. He was an extremely hard worker, and she was raising 11 kids.
So it's like he had to be, because he had to make, like, it's just the chicken or the egg thing. It's like, did he work a lot because he had a lot of kids, or did he work a lot because he had a lot of kids, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I gotta work. Sorry, honey, I gotta be out in the office because I gotta work. It's like,
Yep.
Yeah, bro, I probably want to be gone too with that many kids at home.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously as a kid, I didn't have the wherewithal to be like, oh, my mom has 11 kids. Like, no wonder. Like,
no.
But obviously now it's like, holy cow, so much compassion and so much respect for just her as a mother, and it is incredible. Like the people that she raised.
Yeah.
Not that our dad didn't raise us, but I definitely saw him a lot less.
Oh yeah,
a lot
absolutely.
less.
Absolutely. And like,
and again, all of it goes on the mom.
It does exactly, because if her kids fail, they blame mom, and that has happened in our family. Like any kind of mistake the kids make, it's like, it must be mom's fault,
or she takes
it on. And like, obviously, like most moms do that. Not a lot of fathers are like, oh, I must have failed, right? Not a lot of fathers are blaming themselves for the failure of their children. It's always the mothers, because we put so much fucking pressure on moms.
Yeah. Well, makes sense from the quotes that we just read.
Yep.
It's divinity, divine.
Divine, eternal, destiny.
Yes. All that flowery shit. You just made a Substack post about all women are mothers.
Yeah, no, we're not all mothers, Sherry. Yeah.
So what's flawed or problematic about that?
She basically just reiterates what the men said about motherhood, that all women have like a divine, eternal destiny to be mothers. That's the same shit. And maybe I'll read like a quote from it. Just a little plug.
Absolutely.
She likens this labor to the work of the Father and the Son, claiming it as the essence of womanhood, and the highest calling for any daughter of God is motherhood, right? The talk goes on to assert that motherhood is not just about bearing children, but an eternal premortal endowment. One is divinely appointed, and as vital to God's plan as the male priesthood. Women, she teaches, were born with the power to save souls and are tasked with mothering, not just biologically, but vicariously, loving, leading everyone, especially women are supposed to lead and guide everybody, right? You are the ones in charge. That's why you don't need the priesthood, right? Because this is already your divine, eternal destiny.
Yeah, it's the same. It's equal, right?
Yep. And so I'll just read you like a couple quotes from why this is problematic. So I just said, here's the thing about pedestalizing women. It's just oppression handed out on a 4x6 printable with a floral border. We're called powerful, but only when we use our power in service of everyone else. We're called priestesses, handed a ceremonial key, but the locks are changed if we dare turn it alone. We're entrusted with divine influence, but only if we exercise it quietly, vicariously, and preferably in a Relief Society room with a table centerpiece made from repurposed canning jars. I'm glad you haven't read this. I can see your reaction. And if we question the script, we're accused of rejecting our divine nature. If we struggle, we're told to pray harder. And if we dare want something more authority, more autonomy, more rest, we're seen as threats to the very plan of salvation. Funny how that works, isn't it? Women hold virtually no decision-making authority in the church, but the moment they dare ask for any, suddenly they are single-handedly responsible for its destruction. Wild how that kind of power only kicks in when we're inconvenient.
Oh, that's good.
I went on.
So good. No, it's
on my Substack, yeah.
Oh, it just it pisses me off that the phrase "all women are mothers," just the implication of it, because people say all the time in the church, like, even if you can't have your own physical children, you can be a mother in other ways. And it's how about we don't want to be a mother at all?
Yeah. I mean, not only is that dismissive and hurtful to women who face infertility, right? It's like, on the one hand, you're saying this is your ultimate role. And then you're like, okay, but what if I can't have children? I've been trying. Then, like, what does that say about me? And then it's like, what about women who actually don't want children? Then it's like, okay, then what?
Well, in a broader sense, it's saying, like, it is your job to care about other people.
Yep.
It is your job to care for other people because being a mother is caring for something.
Yes.
And like, so even if you can't have your own children,
sacrifice
you need
yourself.
you need to be caring about somebody.
You need to be serving.
Leave your troubles behind.
Yes. You need to be serving other people always, 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 always.
Yes.
Yeah. Always.
And that pisses me off because women, I mean, we're both mothers, obviously, but women don't have to be a mother to anything, anyone.
Yeah.
They don't.
And like, also, and if you do want to be a mom, that's great too. Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, decide for yourself. Like, if you do, if you don't, like, that's up to you, right? And I really struggled early on in motherhood for a lot of reasons. I love being a mom now, like, to my kids now. Like, it's a great phase of life that I'm in. And if one of my daughters is like, absolutely not, I'm not having kids. And I'm like, okay, you do you. My other daughter's like, yeah, I'll probably have kids. I'm like, great. Again, like, that's their prerogative. And it's like, you don't have to be constantly serving to like prove your womanhood.
Yeah.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah. It's really, really weird.
Don't say that to men.
No. Yeah. Can you imagine flipping the script a little bit and just saying, you know, even if you, all men are fathers. All men are fathers. And even if you can't have your own children, you can be a father to something else.
Be father. You can give money to somebody else. Because that's what men are reduced to, right? And like, and just to throw a little bit of a compassion men's way here. Like, I get a lot of men are conditioned to believe that their only worth comes from earning money.
Yeah.
And again, that's harmful because then it's like, okay, what they lose their jobs, whatever. And then like, what if their wives make more than them? Then suddenly their masculinity is at risk, which is so stupid. It's like, can we all just be?
Yeah.
Just let us live our lives.
Can we please take a chill pill? Like, please.
Let's just relax.
Let's all take a Xanny. And
it's like, no, literally.
Good segue. You were mentioning being a mother to very young kids. Let's get real about this, okay? Those early days, and for context, I have two daughters. They're 5 and 7 years old. Okay, and your kids are all above the age.
So my oldest is 19, then I have a 17-year-old, my two daughters, and then I have a 13-year-old son and an 11-year-old son.
Yeah. So did you like being pregnant?
Yes and no. I liked being pregnant the first couple times.
Stella mom said.
Is that what she said? She probably did say that. And then she's like, by the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th time, I really hated it. By the last time I was pregnant, the 4th time, I was really fucking over it.
In 2012, I left on my mission, okay? 2012, I left on my mission. Carly literally gave birth.
The day you went.
The day I went into MTC.
That's right.
Okay? I come back from my mission 18 months later. She's 9 months pregnant.
Literally go into labor, like that week?
Yeah, I was there.
Same week.
Yep.
You were such a baby. Oh my God.
I was.
Yep. And you come back and I remember you were massaging my feet. Like, I made you you did because my feet were so swollen.
Yes.
And it was summer. Like, I gave birth in September, early September. So it was hot in California, Southern California. And you massaged my feet and my ankles. And I was like, do the pressure point so I'll go into labor. And I literally told you to do that. I'm like, hi, sister. sister.
And then I watched your kids while you guys went to the hospital.
Yep. Bookend babies.
And your daughters, Cadence and Maya, they're super little. And they put on like a show. They put on like a whole performance.
The neighbor girls.
And they put like name tags on everyone's chairs,
so
and they
cute.
put that girl that just got home from a mission for me. So,
and they put my name on my seat and it said, "Don't go into labor." Remember that? And they're like, "Don't have your baby yet, Mom." And I didn't even make it to the show, and I did. And I didn't listen.
Sweet girls. Oh my goodness. I did not like being pregnant.
Really?
I just was. Yeah, I didn't love it. I think it's amazing when women are like, I love it.
Some people feel really great and have no issues.
Yeah. it's just uncomfortable. And okay, how about the newborn? The newborn stage, just like that first year.
It is
so rough.
It's so hard.
So hard. Whether you have one kid, 2 kids.
And yeah, and it's, but I think about after my first, after the first and the last were the hardest for me postpartum, because I had really bad postpartum anxiety, both with my first and my last. I didn't even realize I had it after I had my first, but it was so hard. I don't think, I'm like super grateful that I have all healthy kids. I had relatively easy pregnancies, easy deliveries. So like super lucky in that department, and I'm super grateful.
We have really good genes.
Yes.
In that regard.
I just want to acknowledge my privilege in that area. Okay. So, but after I had my first, I don't think you really know, especially when you're really young and you're just unprepared for the holy shit of it all, that your life completely changes and everything revolves around this person, this little tiny creature. And I was not prepared for that. And it's really isolating. Like motherhood and raising kids, like if you are staying home and raising them, if you're not like going to some outside job, whatever, it's really lonely. And it's like, because you're just with this baby who doesn't talk. Like it's so, God, it's.
And they depend on you
every need.
So much. So much. And I don't know, those were dark days for me. I don't know that I really had, postpartum anxiety or depression per se. But just immediately just like the overstimulation.
It's so overstimulating.
And sensory wise.
Sensory overload.
That's something that they don't prepare you for. Is just how like touched out you get. And like newborns are so, they're fussy. They can't do anything. They can't, I mean, just kids up until like the age of like 9, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
seriously.
They need a lot of help.
And not that I want to, I'm trying to like think, I'm like, I don't want to be like feeling like we're just like shitting on like raising little kids, right? Or like just being Debbie Downers about the whole like raising newborns, having newborns, babies, and the whole thing. Like obviously there's lots of fun, great parts to it, like seeing them walk and experience the world for the first time, and just there's obviously so adorable and so cute, and like you just want to eat them alive. And then but yeah, there's just a lot that feels really overwhelming. The sensory overload, I hear you on that big time. Like there's nothing like driving in a car on a freeway with 2 toddlers in the back seat, and they're both screaming at you to get something, or like you have a newborn and a toddler, and your newborn screaming and your toddler screaming at you to like pick it up, pick it up, and you're driving on the fucking freeway, and you're like, there were so many times when I'd be like just driving, I'd be like, I can't get that right now. I was like over the top exaggerating, like super sweet tone, like I can't get that right now for you, sweetie.
I totally do that.
Because if I didn't, I would have lost my shit.
No, you're not gonna do that. No. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And it's like you hear it in your voice. As your kids get older, they're maybe asking more mature questions or more grown-up topics. They hear about it at school, or they hear, and I'm talking about sex, porn, masturbation, like dating, whatever, or relationships. And so I really admired the way that you've navigated all of that, and have definitely looked to you as an example of how to build like trust with your kids and how to give them confidence to solve problems on their own. And so I am curious, was there any point where you realized that you weren't going to parent like the typical Mormon mom?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was like right after we left the church. Like I did like a complete, not like complete 180, but it feels like maybe like a 160. I don't know.
Well, I feel like you really dove
Oh, I don't.
into, because you were going through this whole transformation, and then you're like, well, I'm not going to teach my kids X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So what am I going to teach them?
I did an about face, just how I approach them about different topics, how I create space for them to talk to me about certain things. And like, on some level, I was already kind of doing that, like, especially in regards to talking about sex or them asking me questions. I was already cultivating a space where they felt safe to come talk to me, even as a Mormon mom, because I didn't feel like I could talk to my parents about sex, and I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah.
So I was kind of changing that from the get-go, just having kids in general, but I was still very much like, okay, got to be reading your scriptures and praying, and, don't like touch yourself, don't say bad words, all of like the basic Mormon shit.
Yeah.
So I do remember one day, it was like shortly after we left and we told the kids, I like went into my girls' room and I just sat down and I was like, you guys want to swear? Swear. Like, you can swear all you want in this house. I even told the boys that, and they were very young at the time too. And I just said, so like, you guys can swear all you want in this house.
Announcement.
Family announcement. We're having a family meeting, family home evening, if you will. You can swear. Because that was like, what is the big deal? And this is like the rules that I set for them. I remember this because they were like, wait, what? They were like, we can swear? And I was like, yeah, so here's the deal, though. You can't say racial slurs. That's a no-no, like, period, end of story. You can swear all you want in our home, but boys, you can't call your sister a bitch. You can't use the B word, the bitch word against any woman, girl, ever. Like, I just like, nope, can't do that. And those are basically the rules. And for in the house and everywhere else. But I did say also, can't swear at school. Make sure you don't swear around family members who might not appreciate it.
They know your audience.
Know your audience.
Yeah, that is what really stuck with me as you were transitioning into a more progressive parent. The know your audience thing. I definitely applied that with the girls. Like, absolutely. And they know, like, I let them swear at my house, but like, if they go to grandma's, that's not going to be okay with them.
It's amazing how quickly they catch on.
Yeah.
And they get it.
When they come to my house, they're just like,
yeah, they just let loose.
Yeah, they just let loose. And I love it. And yeah, I'd say the same thing. You can't use it to like name call or use them really like at someone or your...
Like, intention matters.
Yeah, intention. Yeah.
But there's something so funny when a kid knows how to swear, like land a swear word.
Yeah.
Just right. And they're like, I fucking hate that. Like, and like, you're using it right.
Yeah.
Like, you got it. Like, it's so funny. Like,
my youngest will be like, she'll be like, shit. And sometimes they'll look at me and they're like,
you said don't react.
Yeah. I just don't react.
Yeah.
No reaction at all.
There's this one moment. So my youngest, who's now 11, but I think he was probably 8 or 9 at the time. It was during one of our family reunions, and we have members of some siblings that are still in. But during one of these reunions, it was at our parents' place, and they have a pool. And my son comes up to me later after we had a swim afternoon, and he says, "Mom, I swore in the pool." And I was like, "Wait, what?" They're like, because they were all swimming with their cousins. And he said, "Well, no, I just really needed to swear. So I went underwater and I screamed it underwater."
I love him so much.
I was like, "Oh, did you?" I was like, "Show me." He's like, "I just went underwater." And I was like, that is the perfect way to swear if you need to in front of people that don't want to hear it. That's perfect, buddy. I was like, he just knew how to do it the right way. And I was like, good on you. Critical thinking, right?
Love that so much.
It was so funny. Yeah.
That's so brilliant. He's so smart.
He's so smart.
But it is interesting. Like, I'll share that with other people. Like, how, like, yeah, I let my girls swear at my house. Yeah. Because they're just words, and if used correctly, like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And a majority of people are like, really? Like,
I know.
Or they'll hear them swear while they're at my house, and they're like,
I know.
Are they going to get punished or whatever? And
saying it. No. You know what it does, though? It takes away the power of these words for kids. Because it's like, oh, like, what's the big freaking deal about these words? And so my kids don't even swear that much anymore. Early on, yeah, they swore like a lot to get it out. But now it's like, I really don't, like, maybe here and there, obviously. But now they don't even really say that. And they're like, yeah, I don't even really swear around my friends that much anymore either. Well, like, one of my sons, like, he said, yeah, like, when his friends were Mormon, like, they would swear more than he did. Like, it's so funny because it's like, it just like,
because they weren't allowed to.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to. So.
I love that.
Oh. I just realized I had a freaking dryer sheet on my arm this whole time.
We're so messy. We're so chaotic. We're so messy.
You're crossing your eyes. Doing that is making me laugh. We're so messy.
This is a very big question because it involves a few, but how do we handle topics like death, sex, religion? But I did want to start off with the death thing because our dad is dead.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, I was with the girls. Our dad died when my girls were super young, 2 and 4. So it's not like they have a ton of memories with him. But it's not a topic that I shy away from at all. And not just with my kids, but with anyone. Like, yeah, we can talk about how my dad died and he's dead. And like, I could talk about him, it's fine.
Yeah.
So it's very normal for me to bring up dad, just talk about him. So I was saying something about their dad, but my oldest was like, your dad's dead. And I died laughing.
Your dad is dead, Mom.
So hard. And my youngest was like, that does that make you sad? I'm like, no, it doesn't, honey.
It doesn't. And you know what? Dad would think that was so fucking funny.
So funny. After he died, they were obviously hearing from other people, family members, about where he was now.
Yeah.
Where he went,
where they believe he is.
Yeah. So, I had them for the weekend or something, and my oldest just is saying, well, so and so says that he's with Jesus, and that he's with, and I was, it took everything in me to be like, who told you that, because I'd already left the church, and I just said, well, they believe that, and that's okay. I don't believe that. I don't know if there is a heaven or a hell. I don't know, if I'll see him again. And that's okay too.
Yeah.
And you can believe whatever you want. And then I feel like that's also something I learned from you, and honestly with you, like leaving the church, just those same concepts. The pause in approaching those things, knowing that your children are being influenced by standards and expectations or beliefs that are not your own, but then also not wanting to push your beliefs on them.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah, there's a balance, or there's a fine line.
And I think that's why asking kids open-ended questions are really good in situations like this.
Yeah.
Where it's like, depending on their ages, but it would be, oh, like, what do you think about this? Like, oh, why do you think grandma thinks that? Or why, how does that make you feel? Or like, what do you think about it? Or, just questions like asking them questions that make them think about their own beliefs or like what they might understand about the world. Yes. And again, it depends on the ages, right? They're really young. That's much harder to do.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of like with Santa Claus, right? If your kid comes to you and it's like, they might be 4 or 5 and they're like, Mom, I don't think Santa's real. Or Mom, is Santa real? I would always say, I don't know. I don't know, bud. What do you think? I would just be like, or if they said, Mom, I don't think Santa's real, I'd be like, oh, why do you think that? Like, oh, tell me.
Yeah.
Instead of just giving them an answer.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's really, like, you really want to do that. Like, you really want to give your kids the answers. But it's important to, like, help them think, not telling them what to think.
Yeah, I think that is so important because you want them to be able to go out into the world and interact with people from their own voice,
Yep.
from their own point of view, from their own opinions.
And feel confident about it.
And feel confident to be like, oh, actually, I don't know if I believe that.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So
right.
you're arming them with the ability to think for themselves.
And not parroting someone else's belief.
Yeah, because I think someone, pushing Christ on my kids is just as damaging as me being like, no, you can't believe that.
Yeah.
No, it's the same thing, just a different font.
They're not leaving room to question.
Yeah.
To question and for themselves.
And I feel like they will appreciate you more in the long run.
Absolutely.
Because they're not going to be judged for asking you questions or maybe thinking a little differently than you.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to get off on this tangent, but people have asked me, like, what if your kids, like, want to go back to church? I'll be like, if that is something they want to do and they feel ready and they feel like this is something they need in their lives and they're not, like, being harmed, they're not putting in harm's way and they feel safe and they feel comfortable, like, I'm going to be supportive. And I'm going to be like, hey, if this is what you want to do, like, tell me why you want this. And, like, let's talk about it. And if it's like, yeah, then I'm going to support you. Like, I'm not going to be like, no, don't do it. That's just like a Mormon mom being like, no, you can't leave the church. Like, no, I'm not going to be such a hard ass either way. That's just, that doesn't leave room for a great connection with your kid. You don't want them to resent you.
Yeah. Sex is obviously a big topic that if you leave the church, it's something that kind of you would have to alter your way of dealing with that, or that would just be something that would naturally come up.
Surprisingly hard for a lot of ex-Mormon parents to, like, wrap their heads around. And, like, I get it. And it definitely was for me at first. Like, absolutely. If I've done a Q&A on parenting before, people do ask, they're like, how did you, like, not freak out, like, knowing, like, your kids or your daughters, like, want to have sex, or are they having sex, or, like, what do you do? Like, how do you not freak out knowing that, like, your teenagers are having sex? And be like, okay, let's take a deep breath. Let's take some deep breaths, right? We're living in America, like, as Americans, first of all, very prudish, puritanical country, okay? Like, we have such Puritan views about sex and bodies, and then especially if you are religious on top of that, especially in Mormonism, it's just seen as, if you're not married, like, don't talk about it, don't arouse people, don't wear certain things, don't look at certain things, like, don't even think about it, right? Which is impossible to do. It's impossible. It's not normal. That's not developmentally normal for teenagers. So I do remember, and I was joking with my oldest about this just the other day. So she's 19 now. I don't think she'll care that I share this story. So she had, like, a boyfriend when she was about 15, 16. And so she's my oldest, and we had already left the church. And so I'm still trying to navigate this. Okay, how do I handle her having a boyfriend type thing, knowing that they might be doing things, whatever. And I remember she comes home one day, she's 16, and she has a hickey on her neck. And I just look at her, and I was like, I see that. I think I said something. She knows the story better than I do, but I think it was like, yeah, so I see you have a hickey there. Yeah, like, tell me what's going on. Also, I'm making an appointment to get you on birth control immediately. I was like, but I said it so, like, sternly. I was like, yeah, so I'm getting you on birth control. I was like, I was not mad. I think I was just scared. I was just nervous, right? I've never navigated this fear. It was fear. I was fear. Yeah. It's definitely fear talking there. Yeah. And then my second daughter, I was like, okay, let's, like, get you on birth control. Like, it was like a happy day. It was, like, so different. And my oldest daughter was, like, so pissed about that. I was like, I am so sorry. But I said, well, okay, to my credit, like, I didn't ground you for having a hickey. Like, I didn't, like, freak the fuck out. I just said, okay, let's get you on birth control, like, immediately.
Because we know where this is going.
I know where this is going.
Straight to sex.
Which is not true.
No, it's the gateway drug.
The gateway drug. Hickeys are the gateway drug.
But coming from culture.
Okay.
Coming from the culture that we were raised in.
Oh, yeah.
That's immediately
worst case scenario.
It's scary.
But then like, here's the thing. It's like hickey, sex, homelessness.
Yeah. Hickeys, sex, homelessness, murder. It just it lines up so perfectly.
For a lot of Mormons, we were taught that sex is next to murder, premarital sex.
Yes.
Right? So yeah, that's the obvious path.
God.
That is the obvious path and the only path. If you have a hickey, then you have sex, then you murder someone, and then you're homeless or in prison. Right? Anyway.
Crazy.
So yeah, you do have to rewire a lot of parts of your brain when you're raising teenagers outside of religion like Mormonism. Yeah. So for me, I just went from hard no's or hard yeses to, oh, it's not quite that simple, to just being like, okay, how do we reduce the harm of a certain behavior? Okay.
Love that. Harm reduction.
Harm reduction. That is my motto when raising teenagers. And like, I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of experts would say. Like,
you are an expert. Yes.
I'm not an expert, but like,
experts would agree.
Experts, 9 out of 10 experts would agree that Carly is right about this. So, but it's true, because when we think of anything, when teenagers are learning anything, right? Let's take driving, for example, right? They're driving a car. They're learning how to drive a car. We don't tell them, no, you can't drive a car. That's too dangerous. You're not ready for that. And you will never be ready until you are a certain age or until you are married or whatever. So we say, okay, how do we help you drive a car safely, right? Like, they take lessons, they take classes, they read, they learn, they educate themselves. You educate them. Like, they take driving, like, they wear their seatbelts. Okay, like, if you're in a car, or like, don't drive drunk, don't get behind the wheel, don't get in a car with anybody who's drunk or under the influence of anything. Like, you take steps to reduce the risk of them getting hurt. And does it always work? No, because cars are dangerous and teenagers are kind of dumb. But like, you don't just refuse to allow them to drive a car. Like, that's not going to help them. So, I mean, I'm sure some parents are like, absolutely not, you're not driving a car, but those parents are crazy.
Yeah.
Let's get educated on safe, enthusiastic consent, safe sex, wearing a condom, getting on birth control. Like, let's go to the doctor. Let's learn about different types of birth control. Like, what would they recommend? What do you do when you feel uncomfortable in a certain sexual situation? Or like, if you're not ready for that, how are you going to express that to this person that you might be in a relationship with, or maybe you're just like seeing for a night, whatever? How do we reduce the risk of you getting hurt emotionally, physically, mentally? And that's, you just have to arm your kids with knowledge.
Exactly. Yeah. You with all of that, if you are helping them think through ways to still experience life and not feel like they can't do anything, or feeling very sheltered, or you're helping them think through, the risks or the implications, you are empowering them to make their own decisions, because you're teaching them about the risks. You're not saying, no, you cannot do this. You're just teaching them and giving them the resources,
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts, and what is so freeing, is the way that I'm able to talk with them about relationships and not sticking to the heteronormative. Like, just it was probably like a few months ago, we were getting into the car and my oldest just randomly says, "Mom, how are babies made?" Classic question, right? But it was just so cute, because it was just like, yeah, she just thought it and she asked.
She's gonna ask.
Okay.
I love it.
And my gut reaction was to be like, well, when a penis, but then I was like, wait.
Right.
It's not that simple.
It's not
that simple. So I just said, okay, so there's 2 chromosomes. Okay. And I explained to her, we went into transgender people can have babies. A man who used to be a woman, but they decided that they feel most at home in their body as a man, but they still have
You're like, I love it. You're just like, it's basically, I love how we could just like reduce it down and be like, so you just need a female gamete and then a male gamete. Basically, you just need a sperm and an egg, and it doesn't matter what body it's coming, like what the outside of the body looks like that's what you need. That's the mix that you need.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, they're still so young, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, like I'm doing it. Like I don't have to like fix this 10 years later. I don't have to. I can help them understand that there's multiple different ways for people to have a baby, and that it's not so black and white, and you don't have to stick to this one paradigm. You don't even have to be in a relationship to have a baby. You don't, but my gut reaction was to be like, when a man and a woman.
Yeah, because that's what.
But I caught myself. I was like, wait a minute.
I love that.
Actually, no.
I love that. That's great. Yeah. And like kids are so chill too. They're probably like, oh, okay. Like,
exactly.
They don't give a fuck. Like, they're like, oh, okay. Like, they're not sitting here being like, oh, them trans people. Right. They're not saying that. They're so non-judgmental. No. They're just like curious. They just like, I want to know.
Yeah. And I think just setting that standard of, okay, when you ask me a question, I'm going to stay calm.
Yep.
Which I'm not always great at. My kids are still really young, so sometimes it's really hard.
So.
But I'm going to stay calm, and I'm not going to make a big deal out of this. I'm not going to. And my goal is to never have to have like a sit down conversation about sex.
It's ongoing.
A sit down conversation about gay people. Yeah. Like, no, it's just
an ongoing conversation.
Yep. Yeah.
Free.
I love that.
Yeah. Come and go. Ask, don't ask. Like when you feel comfortable, like, creating an environment where they can come and ask you anything at any time. Yeah. That's what you want. You're doing a great job.
Thanks. So are you. No, but really, I've really learned so much. And I love the way that you just watching you parent teenagers and, navigating things that you weren't allowed to.
It's hard, but like it's so much better raising kids that way. It is such a load off of your shoulder. Like it just feels so freeing. And you have I personally feel like I have much better connection with my kids. I mean, and they will say, like, my second oldest daughter, like, she is, and you know her well, obviously, but she is so blunt, and she just brutally honest. Like, so fucking brutally honest. And I fucking love her for it. But she will tell me all the time, she's like, Mom, it was like, you're a totally different parent. After you left the church, you are way more chill. She's like, you're so much better parent. Like, and it's not that I was horrible before, but she's like, you're so much more chill. Like, she's like, I can talk to you about anything. And like, not all of my friends can talk to their moms about anything. And I just think that's so weird. Like, since sometimes my friends are like, wow, like, you can talk to your mom about this? And she's like, oh, yeah, duh. Like, you can't talk. Like,
that's such a trip. I
know, isn't that crazy?
I love hearing that, though.
I know. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what their relationships are like or why that is, but I'm really glad. Do you feel like you can tell me anything? And she does. Like, she will tell me. And I won't go into her personal stories. But, she will tell me something. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, get it together. I'm like, oh, really glad you told me. All right. Are you safe? Like, you good? You good? Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty funny. She's hilarious, though. But I was thinking, I was like, oh, we should get Cadence on here and have a conversation.
I would love to have Cadence on here.
She'd be amazing.
It's exciting every time I get to address a topic that was so taboo for me growing up. Yeah. And just address it.
It's like you're reparenting yourself.
Totally. Yeah. I think it's
absolutely
so great. So while, the younger years, having kids, extremely hard. And I feel like you and I are both very real about that. And I really admired that about you, as I was watching you beginning to have kids and, early on in your marriage, and you were just so real. Like you were just real about how hard it was, how tired you were, and
probably too real.
And then it's not always perfect. You're not always going to enjoy it, and that's okay.
Yeah. And like, there's no such thing as a perfect mom. That doesn't exist.
Nope.
And like, it's okay if you like don't love it. If you can't have kids too, and that's a struggle for you, like we acknowledge that too. Like there's so many layers to like motherhood, infertility, and like I don't have personal experience with infertility, and neither does Cindy, but I have friends that do, and that's a huge struggle. So like my heart goes out to you for those that struggle with that. And if you love motherhood, that's great. And if you don't, and you're like, I don't know about this, like that's okay too. And there's space for all of us here, whether you want kids, you don't want kids, you have kids, you don't have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So like we're not all mothers, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. And you don't have to be a mother eternally either.
Yeah.
Rusty
boy.
Rusty.
Well, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
This was so great. This was fun.
Fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was great.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Follow us on all social media platforms.
Messy_jeans or Messy Jeans on Substack. Messy_jeans on Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to rate and review and like and make sure that you're just hyping us up, because that's how these podcasts get seen.
Yes. Yep.
By reviews. So
exactly.
And if you have a hate review, that's fine. Just maybe send it privately, and then I'll roast you for it.
Comment on like our TikTok or something, because then that'll like boost that.
Yeah.
Boost.
It's gonna boost the content. It's gonna boost the algo. It's all about the algo.
Hate us or love us.
Hate us.
No matter what, we're always on your mind.
That's right. Bye, bitches.
Bye.